Okay, we're going to attempt to explain convertible debt here. This is it's actually a pretty complex and difficult subject, so don't feel bad if by the end of this video you have trouble understanding what we're talking about. If it's any consolation, it took me half an hour to figure this out in the first place to explain it to you. So, and by the way, this changes over time as well. So what we're going to talk about is the fundamental concept of convertible debt. And usually you'll see this appear during funding events around corporations. And, it's often early and sometimes later in their life cycle. But the point is that a corporation wants to raise some money and they don't necessarily sell equity right away. Instead, what they do is you create a loan. So an investor gives the corporation a loan that converts to equity at a discount after something called a trigger event. And usually those trigger events are funding rounds. So the idea here is that we might not know what the company's worth, especially in early stage companies, which is the example we're going to use right now. The idea is that you don't necessarily know what the company's worth, so instead of picking a valuation, valuing the company and selling equity, you say, hey look, I'm going to give you basically bridge financing. I'm going to give you a little bit of a loan that allows you to operate until we can attract another investor who comes in and prices the company. And then when that other investor tells us how much the company's worth, my original loan will convert into equity at that rate and at that valuation. So if you're a little confused already, just keep watching the video. If you need to watch it again, hopefully it'll make more sense. But the whole point is that I'm going to give a company a little operating capital. We're going to hope to attract another investor after we operate for a little while. And when that investor comes in, I'm going to invest at basically the same rate as that new investor. I'm going to convert my loan into equity. Now, the important thing here is that there's something called the discount that's usually figured into these loans. So I give you money, I get to convert at whatever the new investor establishes, but I also get a percentage that compensates me for my risk. So I basically get a discount on my share price when that moment comes. And we'll walk you through an example. It essentially means I get to buy a little bit more equity than I otherwise would have at that valuation. And that discount is basically like an interest rate. It compensates me for the risk I'm taking by being the early investor that gives you the loan and waiting for the other investor to come along later. So because of that risk and because I'm in early, I get a discount on my purchases. So some of you guys have told me that when people type on the movies it's annoying, so we won't type. So there's a couple of different kinds of convertible debt here. The one we're going to talk about is what we call the old kind, meaning it's just a straightforward debt instrument and it's used as a funding bridge like we talked about, and it converts into the new round. That's the key. That's the simplest version of that. And there's a couple of other concepts that we want to touch on briefly. One is that this punts the valuation question. We don't have to decide on a valuation right away because I'm giving you a loan and waiting for another investor to establish the valuation in the future. And we'll talk about how it limits downside risk. It's not really understandable yet, but we'll go into that. So let's use as an example Hasselhoff.com. This is a website in Southern California that sells David Hasselhoff DVDs online. A very popular product, especially in Germany and in Europe, for those of you that know David Hasselhoff and love him like I do. That is the business idea. And they talk an investor, in this case called Anklebiter Partners, they talk Anklebiter Partners into giving them a loan of $500,000. And they don't have to decide on a valuation, because remember, they're just giving the company a loan, but we are choosing a discount rate and a trigger event. In this case, our trigger event is the funding round. That loan will convert to equity at the funding round, and the discount percentage is 10%, meaning these guys, Anklebiter Partners, are going to get a 10% discount on the share price when it comes time to convert. And I'll explain that in a second. So we give them Anklebiter Partners gives them a $500,000 loan. They operate the website for a bit. Things are going well, and lo and behold, they attract a Series A investor. So the Series A investor is Snobulous Capital Partners. They're also in Southern California. So what Snobulous Capital Partners says is, hey, let's talk about how much of this company we're going to own if we invest. And essentially what they decide is that we have $1.5 million that we want to put into the company. And so they say $1.5 million is what we're coming in for. And instead of sort of starting from the beginning and figuring out what the company's worth, they are choosing a post-money valuation. So they're saying, we think the company's worth, at the end of all this, when we put the money in, it's going to be worth $3 million. And remember, post-money valuation is pre-money plus how much you raise equals post-money, what your company's worth afterwards. So they're going to pick a number that gives them an ownership percentage that they're comfortable with. In this case, Snobulus Capital wants to own 50% of the company. So they say, we're going to put in 1.5 million, and after that, we own 50%. In that case, that makes the post-money valuation 3 million, and if they put in 1.5 million, they're going to own 50%. However, we still have this 500K hanging out there that is our original convertible debt, our original loan. So how does that debt figure into the process? How much does that person own and how does it convert? So we've got 500K that needs to convert into this. So if you look down here at the Series A example, the post-money valuation is 3 million. We know that. The Snobulus Capital partners in blue here, they put in 1.5 million. So Snobulus Capital now owns 50% of the company. There's 3 million shares outstanding in this example. This is the number of shares. There's 3 million shares outstanding, and the company's worth $3 million. So Snobulus Capital, after putting in 1.5 million, they own 50% of the company and 1.5 million shares. That's pretty straightforward. 1.5 million shares. So the price per share is $1. It's a $3 million value, and then there's 3 million shares. The price per share is $1. So they own 1.5 million shares and 50% of the company. Now we have to figure out how much Anklebiter Partners gets. So Anklebiter Partners essentially says, hey, wait a second, we negotiated a discount rate because of our original loan, because it's risky. We get a discount rate, we get 10%. We get a 10% discount on the shares. So instead of saying that they're putting in $500,000 on a $3 million post money, which if you do the math, that would be 1/6 of the company, instead of that, they say the share price was $1. But because I did that loan, I get a 10% discount. I get to buy those shares for 90 cents. So if you do the math, they have $500,000 and 90 cents a share. They end up with, instead of 500,000 shares, because the share price is $1, they end up with 555,555. So that difference between 500,000 shares and this number right here, that represents the discount. They got a discount on the shares. They paid 90 cents instead of $1. So they end up with more shares than they otherwise would have if they had invested at the same time as Snobulus Capital. So there's an advantage to them to have given this loan early on. Snobulus Capital, however, is the one that sets the post-money valuation and decides the terms. Anklebiter Partners gets all of the same terms and protections that Snobulus Capital does. It's as if they invested alongside them. They just get this 10% discount, so they end up with more shares. So in this case, now they own 555,000 shares. That adds up to 18.5% of the company that they own. And what's left, 945,000 shares, are owned by the entrepreneur. So Hasselhoff.com now owns 31% of the company. That's essentially how convertible debt works from the mathematics perspective. That I give you a loan, I have an interest rate or a discount, I wait until someone else values the company. When they put money in, then I convert, but I get a cheaper share price than they would because I came in early, and so I end up with a slightly larger amount than I would have had I invested alongside them. And that's the concept. And it's relatively complex, so like I said, if you don't understand it the first time you watch it, watch it again. So let's talk about a few little things before we finish. The first thing is there are advantages to the investors. Number one, there's some advantages in general. Number one, there's low legal fees involved. Sometimes, not always, but generally there's lower legal fees for these guys because you're not doing a full equity round for Anklebiter Partners. They also don't have to talk valuation. They can say let the professionals do the valuation. They just punt that question. Whether or not that's an advantage is arguable, but they don't discuss that at the time. Another big one that people forget is if the company goes into bankruptcy, which happens all the time to young startup companies, if they own intellectual property or other assets, guess who gets those assets first? Anklebiter Partners, because they hold a loan. And in America, when you go into bankruptcy, they're on the top of what's called the liquidation stack. So if you don't know what a liquidation preference is, watch that video as well. In this case, I have a limited downside risk as Anklebiter Partners because I get the assets if the company goes bankrupt. So that's not to the entrepreneur's favor. And it also creates some perverse incentives. And by perverse incentives, what I mean is that the investors aren't always aligned with the entrepreneur in driving the valuation as high as possible. The angel is making this bet that because they're taking increased risk, the angel investor, Anklebiter Partners, is betting that because they take increased risk, they take increased risk, but they get a later stage valuation, which is sort of weird. they're waiting for someone else to value it at a higher level. So it's like they're taking all the risk, but they're not really getting the advantage of having bought equity in the beginning. So that's somewhat troublesome for the angel. And so what happens there is the angel actually is incented to have the company have the lowest valuation possible, because then they'll own a larger percentage. So why would the angel investor want you to have a $100 million valuation? They won't own as much as the company. So there's some perverse incentives at play, and that's important to understand. But that's the overall idea behind convertible debt. It's a loan that converts to equity, and you get a discount when you convert so that your share price is slightly lower, and that compensates you for your risk of loaning them money early.